I'd like to welcome Minister Martin here today. Minister, I represent the region of Roscommon and East Galway, and there's been fantastic investment in key initiatives. And I'd like to really highlight the key role, I believe, of walking and cycling clubs and volunteers in our communities, tidy towns, and the real sense of pride we have in our towns and villages to actively promote and work with tourism and rural recreation officers in our local authorities, as well as Fáilte Ireland, especially with Hidden Heartlands. There are three projects I'd like to speak about. Firstly, the Galway to Athlone Cycleway. Secondly, the Shannon Tourism Master Plan. And thirdly, the Beara Breffni Way. Just on the cycleway, the planned TII, Transport Infrastructure Ireland, this will really open up the areas of South Roscommon. It will come along by the Shannon, hopefully, and the choice then is that on some of those routes, it would come up along by the Grand Canal, publicly owned lands into Ballinasloe. I suppose I am an advocate and a champion of those fantastic experiences coming into Ballinasloe. The Green Route, number one, Minister, brings you along the Beara Breffni Way, and it brings you into Haskra, and there's now a multi-million-euro whisky and gin distillery planned, along with a visitor centre for there. And this is a fantastic investment in the future of a small town in East Galway. We're also looking at Castle Blakeney, again, the heritage and culture in these parts of East Galway, where you're looking, like that's where one of the bog bodies that we see in the National Museum, literally beside us here. We're also looking at things like the Carnagoppel Bog, one of the most unique raised bogs in Ireland. It's one of the largest, only recently renowned on RTE for its biodiversity, and over 40 species of birds in that location. And again, even the forests in Monavea, an awful lot of Quilcha-owned, publicly owned lands in a lot of these routes. And again, another route that would bring you along through the middle and along by Aughrim and the amazing interpretive centre there. You've got stunning Kilconnell Abbey, impressive Woodlawn House, Golden Miles, and lots of villages in Capitagla and New Inn, and lovely bog walks. The Cycleways programme, Minister, is very important. There's also been recent investment through the roads programme under local authorities, particularly for the old Dublin to Galway road. I'm sure everyone would remember that road that would bring you from Ballinasloe to Athlone. But what they're looking at now is that hard shoulder, to convert that into a cycleway, to make it safer for pedestrians and cyclists. Also, just transition. Again, we're seeing great funding here coming to Ballyforan along the banks of the River Suck, 1 million for a cycleway loop along by the River Suck. And again, the funds for active travel, Minister, are going to be very important for developing cycleways for areas where we don't have footpaths, and it's so dangerous to go out and walk in towns and villages in rural areas. Secondly, on the Shannon Tourism Master Plan, again, that's 76.5 million over 10 years. This is so important for Roscommon and East Galway. In Roscommon, it's coming through Ruski, and again, great funding just recently under the Outdoor Infrastructure Funding Programme, over 200,000 into the harbour and walkways there. And I know under this Shannon Tourism Master Plan, they're looking at options for visitor access to Loughree Islands from Lecarrow and Portrunny Harbour, and also from Hudson Bay, Lanesborough. And it's really important that we're looking at how we develop this as soon as possible. Amazing to see the amount of funding going in there, but we really need it to happen quickly. Secondly, Ballinasloe. River Suck is the main tributary of the River Shannon. It needs to be developed even more than what's already been listed in the Shannon Tourism Master Plan. We have 4-star, 3-star hotels there. You have over 146 rooms per night that are available. Second largest town in Galway. Full of activities from leisure centres, swimming pools, golf clubs. Ballinasloe Marina is there. It connects both between Ballinasloe and Shannon Bridge into the River Shannon. It's connected and highlighted by tourists who come to Ballinasloe as a quality route, particularly to develop for water sports. It is the gateway to the West, Minister, and I would like to see further development of this route under the Shannon Tourism Plan. Thirdly, the Beara Breffni Way. I really want to acknowledge again that there was another master plan developed on the Beara Breffni Way. Again, this amazing route, 700 kilometres, goes through 10 counties from Jersey Island in Cork all the way up to Blackline in Cavan. It's driven by some key people I know, such as Jim O'Sullivan. It sits on many community groups, and I know it's a combination of many agencies working together. Quilcha, Waterways Ireland, Mountaineering Ireland, with local authorities in Fáilte Ireland. We have the Hymany Way along the Grand Canal into Ballinasloe, the Suck Valley Way, really important again, the farmers and landowners that work to develop these trails for the enjoyment of all. And again, we have the Lung Loch Garra Way, apologies, getting tongue twisted, but the Lung Loch Garra Way. That is one of the walks that's under the walk scheme to be extended, and that's one of the queries, Minister, I suppose, is just the timeline for that walk scheme. Again, this is going from Clonala's House in Castlereagh to Loughlin, Balladreen to Boyle. The walk schemes and rural recreation officers, Minister, are extremely important. I suppose the questions, Minister, that I may have for you. Firstly, the Local Authority Tourism Officer Capability Programme. Will there be more resources allocated to local authorities? Galway is the second largest county at 6,148 kilometres. It's also the second lowest funded county council. And there's one tourism officer who only started there a number of months ago. She already has nearly 20 projects on her books. How on earth are these going to get completed? How is this possible? It is the second largest county in Ireland. There has to be consideration given to that. We need more resources for tourism officers, especially if we're going to kickstart our economy subsequent to COVID, dealing with lockdown and Brexit. Secondly, Minister, when does the local authority, or is there a timeline for local authorities to submit a tourism strategy to the Department of Tourism? Thirdly, the walk scheme, as I mentioned, the extension of Lough Way. Do we have a timeline for these applications from Sports Ireland? In terms of the technical audit on the Beara Breffni Way, is there a timeline for that? And the hidden heartlands, again, great engagement, and I know with Paddy Matthews, as Senator Carrigy here has mentioned. However, I don't see East Galway on the website for hidden heartlands. I mean, why is that? East Galway is part of the hidden heartlands, needs to be acknowledged as such. Minister, our region is unique. Peat bogs to wildflower meadows, native woodlands to turlocks, lakes and marshes. We want to see more water sports canoeing, and we want to bring our walkways, blueways and cycleways together. There is a sense of pride, Minister, showing how Galway and Roscommon are wonderful places to live, work and visit. But it is crucial to get investment, Minister, to kickstart this sector, especially now. So time is of the essence. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Thank you, Senator.
Cheers.